Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we are wrapping up the month of August in my reading journal. So the month of August was quite a stressful month as a reader for me, not just because my personal life was a bit hectic, but I just got really stressed out by how overcommitted I had made myself over this month. This is entirely my own fault, and I definitely need to watch out for this in the future. I am the type of person that will take on too much thinking I can do it all, and then life will come and give me a surprise, or I will get incredibly behind in some way and feel incredibly stressed out. So that was the theme of my month of August. If you can hear rustling in the background of this narration, my dog is playing with her toy like usual. Whenever I start talking, she has to make sure that we all know that she's there too. So aside from being stressed out, it's been a really weird month of reading as well. There's not really been a theme of I've had a good month or a bad month. There's been obviously some good reads like the one you're seeing right now, and there's been some less than stellar attempts of reading. But yeah, it's just been a really weird month for reading overall, and for my Instagram account, and just feeling like I've been washed away out to sea with all the stress that I've been under trying to make everything work. But it's okay, we're in a new month now. I'm still overcommitted because I am that person who still has things on her list that I've not done, but that is for the future, for me to think about then. Right now we're going to talk about the books that happened in August. As you can see, we are filling in my favourite read page, and that was Foul Lady Fortune. I was incredibly lucky to get an ARC copy of this from 𝓤𝓼𝓮𝓮 and Stoughton, and I loved this book so much. I am a huge fan of her previous duology, but 𝓘𝓽𝓮𝓮's amazing intricate detailing skills blew me away in this book, and the mystery around what was happening, who was doing the murders this time around, was really captivating. I'm so excited for book 2, and this book's not even out on the shelves yet. It comes out on the 29th of September, and I have to wait probably an entire year for the next book, and I want it now. It's so good. I hope that you give this book a check out if you like fantasy, especially with historical elements in it being weaved in, which as a historian I really do like that. So I didn't finish my TBR jar prompts this month. You can see there's a few coloured in that I didn't do. I've mentioned that in my last video that's up on the channel now. You can check that out, but let's move on to the next page that we have to set up, which is the stats page. Over the month of August, I read a total of 15 books. For the last 3 months, that's been my theme, and I'll be really chuffed if that's how it continues for the rest of the year, because as long as I keep reading that much, I will definitely hit my Goodreads challenge, which is 200 books. I'm now sitting at the wonderful number of 150 books as I go into September. I cannot believe that's where I am already. I definitely will get this done if I continue reading at the same pace that I am. However, I did read more pages this month than I did in the previous 2 months of reading 15 books, and that'll be down to one of the buddy reads that I am participating in, the read along that we are hosting, me and my friend, on Instagram for the Throne of Glass series. This is my first time reading the series, and one of the books was quite big, so it's definitely added in some pages, and also that Foul Lady Fortune is over 500 pages long. So there were some big books this month, and I'm really happy about what I read in that way. So another couple of books I really enjoyed this month were, let me see really quick. These Twisted Bonds, I did a reread. I know I read that in March, so that was another 5-star read. I just gave it the same score because I loved it just as much this second time around reading it. I hosted the buddy read for it. We all enjoyed it. And the other book I gave 5 stars to was Heir of Fire, which is book 3 in the Throne of Glass series. It took me a while to get stuck into this series a bit more. Sarah J. Maas is very slow paced for me as a reader, but I'm really enjoying the series now and the world that she's created. It's very well built, and I'm looking forward to moving into book 4 in the next few days. We are reading it quite fast, so we will have the entire series done by the end of November. Moving on from there, another book that I really enjoyed was Two Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Leese. I got an art copy of this and it was absolutely amazing. Beautiful representation of autism rep and what else is there? Anxiety. Chloe does amazing, inclusive romances, and I just love that about her books. They're just so great. Another one was The Ugly Stepsister, which is a mashup of Cinderella and Snow White, and I cannot wait for it to be out for everyone else to read. It comes out on the 13th of September, and it was a really good read. There were two, maybe three books that I really didn't enjoy this month, and that was, they were The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. It's very toxic, and I don't know how it's so popular. Theory, Silver, Iron, Cold. The writing let it down. The concept was fantastic, but the execution was gaping at times. And Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. I didn't enjoy this. I don't like true crime, so maybe it wasn't the right book for me, but it just felt like there was no direction to the plot at all. So as you can see, the stats have been up on the screen for a little bit now, and I've talked quite a bit about the books that I've enjoyed and not enjoyed this month, so I'm sorry that I'm not going to very quickly voice over them. I will leave them in the description below for those who cannot see, but that was my month of August. We are now flipping to the front pages to fill in anything that I have not done yet. As you can see, we are now filled in for the entirety of August in the Goodreads challenge. I still cannot believe I'm at 150 books now. I've got to fill in the last two books from August in the bookshelf, and boy am I happy with how colourful this one was. This one's becoming. Last page is a bit more two-toned, so it's nice to see those extra colours coming in, even if it means some of them are not great books. I just really like the variety of the colours, and I cannot wait until next year when I bring in a new colour code system for my bookshelves in the front of my book. Speaking of new books, I unfortunately will not be using another Archer and Olive for next year's book, and I've been a little bit stressed by this because although we're only in September, I do want to have it set up. I don't want to be rushing at the end of the year to get into 2023, and with how this year's been going, it's been quite fast. So yeah, I want to get a new book really soon so I can start doing the setup. And unfortunately, the book that I'm using, the shipping to get to New Zealand is too high. So I've been looking into new options, and I think I'm going with one from Notebook Therapy. I've never tried their books before, but it'll be really interesting to see how it goes, and also it's a different size, and I'm kind of nervously excited about that, and we will get to experience that together on the channel. But right now I am filling in the Days Red Pixel, and I must admit that I'm actually really enjoying seeing the trends come together. Now that we're so far into the year, it's really interesting to me to see, like, on the 5th day of every month for the last 5 months I've read one book, and on the 15th of every month until now I've read one book. So why did that trend change? Well, I know because I've been incredibly overrun with books this month, but it's nice to see where the trends are happening, why they happen. Is there a reason for specific days that stand out? It's been fun to see that come together. I don't like filling in this page, but I like looking at it. The series tracker is behind. I'm not sure why I was missing a couple of series off the tracker, especially since both series started earlier in the year, but I am about to fill them in. Again, it's really nice to see how many books I've managed to read this year and how many are from the same series. It'll be, again, at the end of the year, really fun to see those stats come together and see how many series I started at the start of the year, how many I continued through, how many I finish. I'm getting really excited about end of the year stats, and we've still got, is it 3-4 months to go? So I need to calm down a little bit, but I am pretty excited to see how I'm faring at the end of this year. It's been really interesting to see how this page is working, and thinking of ways that I'll be able to improve that in the next book. And that is also something that I've been looking at a lot of pages, because the new book that I'll be using, I'll have to be a bit more mindful about how many pages I use at the start. It's interesting to see what pages are working now so I can carry them over into 2023. This is one page that I'm not really enjoying, I admit. I don't know what I'm doing with it, and we'll see how it works at the end of the year, but something that I need to change. And owned TBR is going to be scrapped. So I've mentioned this in both my flip throughs that this page does not work. It is now completely full, and I will not be setting up another page in this current journal for it either. I'm doing it digitally. I will be sharing that perhaps at the end of the year, again with all those many stats that I'm so excited to share. And we'll see how many books I own that I've completely finished by the end of the year, and I hope it's a really high number, or at least a good percentage of what I own, because it's kind of shocking how many books you collect very quickly. But this page is now completely full, and I don't know, it's not very aesthetically pleasing to look at either, because it's so messy, and I'm glad that I'm done with it, to be honest. So I think that leads us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for stopping by today and watching me wrap up the month of August. Did you have a great August via personal life and of reading? Please leave in the comments below your favourite book of August. Did you get many read? I'm really happy with 15, and if I continue on each month like that, that'll just be really great. But I am hopeful that next month will be full of a lot higher ratings. Thank you again for stopping by, and I'll see you soon. Bye everyone.